Recording. Hello. This is Bearded Audio ASMR, and I'm here to show how I took a video that was accidentally recorded in mono and kind of made it pseudo stereo, or at least made it play with the left and right ear when it wouldn't be normally. All right, so this is Tippy Tappy ASMR's robot repair video, and let's just dive right on in. So let's listen to what it sounds like without any effects or anything. So let's just listen real quick. Oh, let's listen real quick.
Stiff little one. There we go. And on the side, yes. Let's get this parties.
Right. So the sounds are nice, right? I like that, but he clearly is trying to play it with the right and left ear, and unfortunately recorded in mono. So you can see right here, I have this crazy looking squiggly thing going across the entire length of his video, right? All about a half hour of it. If we zoom in real close, you'll see all these different points that are kind of in here. All right, so this, I'll start with saying I use Reaper for this kind of technical work. For most kind of editing stuff, at least the beginning of editing, at least video, I use Premiere. But when it comes to fixing audio, I will do that editing in Reaper. So let's just take a look real quick at how it sounds after the fix. All right, so let's turn that on, let's turn this on, and let's listen.
Just to open you up, take a little look and see just what I'm dealing with here. That's a stiff little one. There we go. And on the side, yes.
So we can hear that it does in fact go to the right and left ear. How was this magic done? Well, let's take a look at the plugins I'm using. The first one that I use is a RX's voice denoise, which helps with some white noise. It's a really great plugin. Next is REQ. So what this does is it kind of helps with the low end here. You can see I've brought in a high pass filter here to help carve out, especially because there's some vehicles that are driving by. It kind of helps with that low rumble of the vehicle. This kind of helps with the muddiness right here of it. And up here I just have a little bit of a high-end boost to kind of help bring in just the ultra high-end stuff to kind of help it be a little bit more crisp and airy. I'm going to skip MBO. I'm going to come back to that. I have Verb Suite here. So this I basically made a fake room, which helps with the stereo aspect of the video, right? So you can see in this particular one, so this is Verb Suite. It's part of Slate Digital's suite of plugins, $15 a month for like some of the most amazing plugins. And this is using the BM7 series here. The room I chose is Studio A, and only because I happened to listen to Studio A and say, wow, that sounds nice. Add a little bit of pre-delay, which basically is like a real-world simulation of how long it would take for your voice to hit the wall and get back to you. No chorus, which is the effect here. I've boosted the highs a little bit, brought down the lows just a little bit. Mids looks like actually lows I didn't do anything to, but the mids I brought down a little bit, just as an EQ of the reverb. I widened it a little bit, so it made the room a little bit more obvious in your left and right ear. And then because I didn't want it to be 100% of the reverb, it's at about 25%, 26%. So it's most 75% his voice, 25% of the reverb. And it's barely there, but it's just enough to take a mono signal that is being panned left and right and make it sound like it's in an actual room. Finally, there's just a limiter which I only added so that it wouldn't peak at any point. I'm not actually turning anything up. It's at its default settings. That's it. So the magic comes with this guy right here. This is Ambio made by Sennheiser. It is free. I highly recommend it. It's really fun to play around with. It basically is built to simulate a 3D world with audio, and it is really, really fun. And what I did for this track, you can watch. I'm going to hit play, and you'll watch this go left and right.
Just to open you up, take a little seat. Just what I'm dealing with here. That's a stiff little one. There we go. And on the side.
All right. Now the question is, how did I get it to match movement with tippy tappy, however you want to say it. What I did was I added in Reaper, any plugin you use, just about any parameter of that plugin, you can create an automation lane for with an envelope and adjust it in real time, right? So like if I wanted it to, if I put a point here and a point there, and I wanted it to just jut over to the left ear really quick, I could do that, right? So if we went back and watched and listened, it'll be kind of silly, but you'll see what it does. Oh, it's the right ear, my bad.
You're in good hands. Not my first rodeo.
Right, so you can see exactly what this does, what its purpose is, and that is, over time, to control the left and right. In this particular case, it's called the ismuth. That is what they call this part right here, is the ismuth, going left and right, make it sound like it's behind you as well. I increased the width of it just a little bit to give it more of a roomy feel, I guess, to make it sound less like it's coming specifically from one point. But that's beside the point. It just was from playing with it. So what I did is in Reaper, if you hit, what is it, command, now is it control, now is it right click, there we go. If you right click the record button here and you go to touch, what I can do now is while I am watching this, I can move this back and forth. In this particular case, apparently I have selected every single one of the envelopes. I can move it in real time as I'm watching his head, which is exactly what I did. So as I watched it, I moved it. If he went to the right, I moved it to the right. If he went to the left, I moved it to the left. And I just sat there for a half hour and did it. So check it out. I'll show you exactly what it's like. Nope. There we go. Let's hit record. Now let's do it.
There we go.
Let's zoom in a little more so you can see it going in real time here.
There we go.
So that's it. We could go back, and if I hit play, it'll just play what I recorded.
There we go.
And if I don't like that, I just hit Command Undo. And there we go. We're back to where we were. That's essentially it. That's you can go back. You can look at my list of plugins here. So that is RX7's voice denoise, the EQ to kind of help with the low end and boost the high end just a little bit. The software I used to pan it left and right. The reverb I did to make it sound like he's sitting in a room and add kind of a stereo feel to it. And on this, it's just literally just another limiter, just a safety precaution, that's all, just to make sure it doesn't peak, which is funny considering it's showing that it's peaking up here anyways. But that is it. If I zoom out, you can see that I did that for the entire video. And once that's done, I can go up to render. And from here, I can name it, tell it where I want it to go. I can, from the list of everything you can export in Reaper, which is a lot, I can go down and say I want this to be a movie, specifically a QuickTime .mov file. The size I want it to be, what the frame rate is, how I want to compress it, all that stuff, just like you would in Premiere. Say that I want to, the bounds of it is the time selection, which you can see I've selected the time from here to the beginning. And I just hit render, and then it renders it. And that's it. So hopefully this was helpful. And if it wasn't, well, ask me questions. That's what I do. I like to answer questions.